So how does one start these things?
Hello, and welcome to the first edition of our podcast, the anonymous podcast thus far, because we have no idea what it's going to be called, and hopefully through the process of this it should be named. I'm Tom.
I'm Will.
I'm Aurore.
And today, this may not be our remit going forward, today we're going to look at really shit magazines and I guess dissect them, see how it goes.
We each have in our possession a copy, well, we've got a copy of That's Life magazine.
I've got Take a Break.
I've got Real People.
Excellent. These are low-cost entertainment mediums.
There's a range of prices
High
between
value. 67p,
74p for That's Life, and mine is a eye-watering 90p.
So you really got the premium.
Yeah. You
High-end.
can feel the quality
I've just
in
got,
the paper stuff.
But I mean, that
use.
is true, actually. Yours has the glossy cover. Mine's very rough to the touch.
mine's kind of matte gloss.
So
No, that
really,
doesn't even
you-
make sense.
Well, it's a mix.
But we can immediately pick up themes from all covers in that mine and Will both have anonymous-looking blonde women on it, and there's just lots of kind of chavvy-looking children
Wow.
Unreal
that
people.
may or may not have some sort of
But
crippling
they are
disease.
real people, though. I just like to state the fact that they're low cost doesn't mean they scrimp on quality.
They clearly don't. They have used some of the finest journalistic skills available within an office,
67p.
within a low budget, and we hope that you enjoy some of the readings of the content. Now, obviously, the legal team at That's Life don't want us to repeat the content, so we'll try and avoid, giving too much away. We don't want people to be like, spoilers. We don't want people to be like, well, I'm not buying That's Life this week because I've already heard it on the podcast. So
There's hopefully going to be a lot of intersection
taking
between.
away.
yeah, valuable readership from That's Life.
Okay, we are going to undertake to have a little page rustling as possible, because that would not be...
Oh, sorry. I was...
No, it's fine. We can have a little... That's how it could hear.
Is that the top
we
end
did
of
a bad
page
move.
rattle?
That's as bad as it could really get, I suppose. So
Okay.
we're probably all right.
Okay, so...
So we start at some front pages, see what the headlines are saying.
Sorry, I've just read one. And it's not...
Do you want to hit us with it?
I don't, because I shouldn't have laughed at it. This is the gamble that you take with That's Life, and of course reading That's Life live on a podcast, is that some parts of it are absolutely horrific, some parts of it are semi-hilarious.
Also, there's a lot of contrast on it. So mine has, on one corner, like happy, smiling, kind of blonde young lady. Then there's win holes in Canada and Sicily. Prizes worth 29 grand. But the main one that kind of overrides is my blue-eyed girl battered to death by her babysitter. So there's contrast there.
There's
Wow. That's
there's
like
highs and lows. Yeah, definitely.
It's the
A
full
roller
gamut of
coaster
human
of emotion.
experience.
Yeah. So, I mean, just looking at That's Life, the thing that I love about these magazines is the use of mixed caps and lowercase.
Could you please demonstrate how it reads in
I will
the
demonstrate
real life?
this now. So, you should be able to tell which bit's capitalised here. I chipped my tooth and lost my face. The last two words of the sentence there
See, that's the
being...
one I was laughing at, walking out of Sainsbury's.
So, I mean, again, horrific imagery. The subtitle to that, sorry, was Horror at the Dentist, all caps. I'm not going to shout that bit, it's boring. But I just think, well, it's just the way that they trivialise obvious suffering.
I've got a pretty good one for the capitalising. It's
Okay,
right...
tell
For
us
some
more.
reason, I don't know, it seems like the comedy value on Real People is stuck at the bottom of the front page. Whereas, the tragedy is at the top. So you can kind of get tragedy, oh, lols. It's at the bottom.
That's quite a...
It reads...
Okay, go on.
Super glue fixed my baby.
I really want to know how that happened now.
Me too.
Well, this is it. We haven't even scratched the surface, literally going into the front page.
I
So
thought maybe we should dig in then.
I think we should dig into Super Glue Fix My Baby. Meanwhile,
Please,
Tom and I
Aurora.
will look for some hilarious content.
It's on page 12
Okay.
for reference.
In case there's any historians listening.
I bet this is going to turn out to be a terrible tragedy and I'm going to regret laughing.
Hey, but he was fixed. It can't be too bad.
That's true.
So they misunderstood
Oh,
baby
no.
for model of a baby.
Oh, it is tragedy.
Oh no.
But there's no oh wait.
How did this? I mean, this is the thing. Like they trivialise.
Yeah,
how
they
did he
make
fix the baby? Get to the point.
Well, I'd have to skim read it. It's quite long. Doctors use super glue to save my baby. That's already like awful. Shocking diagnosis left Emma's newborn baby fighting for his life. That's how it leads.
How is the glue helping here?
I don't know.
Was the baby in Vietnam? Was it a field hospital?
No, I mean this is
It's
recent. Oh, interesting. That
It's
explains the age of the
recent.
child.
My 40-year-old baby. Please, sorry, Aurore.
I mean, should I skim it and then give you a summary, or
Yeah, break it down for us. While you're having a read through that, I've just noticed something pretty good on page 13 of Take a Break. They've got a feature which is people's holiday snaps.
Tom, just to be historically accurate, which issue of Take a Break?
Oh, sorry, you don't want to... 5th of February 2015, issue 5. They don't seem to be volumising like all good comics.
Yeah, issue 5.
Issue
Been
5.
going for 20 years.
Yeah, but I guess they just restart at the beginning of every year.
Of course.
That's not
Of
confuse
course.
people.
Yeah, you can only count to 52.
There's this feature showing people's holiday snaps, and what they've done here is a clever play on words. What would normally be out and about, they've put it out and about, because it's take a break. It's TA bout. Out and
oh my god,
about.
that is just not even a
That's
pun.
pretty good. And it's lots of fairly sunburnt people riding elephants in Thailand.
Oh, damn.
Yep, and a woman getting some fish shroppery. Shroppery? Like
Easy
when
for
the
you to
fish.
say.
Well, it's not easy for anyone to say. It's when the fish nibble your feet, which just seems completely
That is a fish
revolting to me.
pedicure.
Apparently, you can get hepatitis from that because the fish keep it in their mouths.
I just want to interject.
Yeah, no.
There's
hit
like
where's
a
the glue?
fantastic
Glue
line
baby.
here. Oh, I need clarification on what this means,
Okay.
to be honest. This line that says, "We'd eaten so many slap-up meals together." What's a slap-up meal?
Okay, well that's your inexperience of common parlance of the English language. A slap-up meal just means an extravagant dinner.
Really?
Yeah, it just means like a posh dinner.
But
It's like, get a slap-up
It sounds
meal.
like a crap takeaway, though.
No,
When you're just like, I'll slap it about or something.
no. I mean, no, it's not.
I mean, there's so many things about English I don't know.
You need to watch more Only Fools and Horses. They will talk about a slap-up meal at some point.
I've just
Almost definitely.
just found a good bit of quality on page 14 about. Here's another good one for capitalisation in odd places. Sun, sea, sand, and screaming.
What?
A baboon had my baby. I think they mean took my baby, because had my baby would be something
That's
quite different.
completely different.
And they've got like little, like sometimes in the body of the text there's
Tom,
little
I'm not being
quotes.
funny. Are you sure there wasn't a surrogate baboon involved?
I really hope that's a story. I'm going to dig into it a bit better, but there's little like quotes that are in bold and throughout it, including "He's hacked off my ear" and "I've had enough of you."
See, some of my favourite parts of these magazines are the puns, and they clearly, I think, for the amount of money that you spend, 74 pence in the case of That's Life. Remember, there's an exclamation mark in the end. Is that you do get a good pun for your pound, which is something that I've just
There's a
coined.
great one on the cover of one of yours. Oh no, it's on mine.
Hold on. It's just, for example, there is a young girl, and yeah, there's a total of 2 puns within one very small photo. In a speech bowl, she's dressed as a duck, and she's saying, "What'll you think of my outfit?" And the headline is "Fits the bill." So
Wow.
it's.
Could I perhaps
Power
give us a
puns.
reading from this
Please do.
article about the baboon? I'll try and give it as much portent as it deserves.
Go for it.
From a distance they looked cute and furry. However, up close the animals were anything but. Their beady eyes and huge fangs were terrifying. Danny was holding Bo and shouting at the baboons, "Shoo! Go on, shoo!" But as he waved his arms, one of the baboons reacted. One of them shot out a hand and grabbed Bo's t-shirt. It began pulling him and trying to wrench him from Danny's arms. The baboon bared its teeth and made a growling noise. I thought, it's going to take my baby. And it took a baby. I think that's where
Oh,
it
okay.
goes.
So it did have a baby.
No, I think the baby's fine actually. I think it got her for a little bit and then they got the baby back. So
For a
probably
little
probably making more of it than they needed to. But
Yeah. So I mean, it's not really a story, is it? A baboon looked after my baby briefly.
doesn't seem to be any injuries. Yeah, baboon reached towards baby.
I mean, I can't really describe in words how annoying this story is, but it's one of these like, you know, when parents will get a kid and dress it up for like a fashion show, but they just dressed it like a fucking idiot.
Was that the theme of the show?
I mean, I think it's Little Miss Birmingham 2014. So
That's
a big shout out to all of our fans in Birmingham.
Dem Bronze.
Word up, the bomb. It's just all of the little, like, why would you do that to your kid? Stephanie's daughter was only a year old, yet she was taken to the stage in a wig and lipstick. Was it harmless fun or too much too young? Young there, capitalised.
Why?
It's just.
I'm getting to the crux of this super glue story.
Please, I really.
The thing is, right, they go through this whole backstory. I have an issue with this issue.
Wow. That'll be a feature.
Most of these magazines, they give you like this catchy title and you're like, oh, I want to read that. But then there's like 6 months of backstory. And then the end of it, like literally the last like 2 paragraphs is where they talk about superglue. So I read this entire page while you were banging on about whatever.
Baboons.
Yeah, so basically he had, I don't know, something wrong with his brain, and they were like, oh, well, it's
something
like,
wrong with his brain.
Superglue it.
Yeah, just superglue it back
We tried everything
it's
else.
like this, like I don't know, misconnected vein or something that's supposed to supply blood to his brain. So quite tragic.
Glued a straw in
Honestly,
there.
the quote here is, Jack's life could be saved by a blob of super glue. It's like, wow, okay.
But it's kind of like when you
And that was it. That was the entire... There's like 2 mentions of super glue.
But it's like when you get a mechanic working on your car or something like that. If he's used a tie wrap to fix something that's going to keep the car running, I don't want to know that you use a tie. Just do the job. You don't get the surgeon coming afterwards and go, you're not going to believe what I just done. You know, your kid was all mental on that. I just popped
He wasn't mental!
Whatever it was. You don't want to come in and go, I just pop some super glue on him. It's fine.
Well, I did fix someone's car with a cable tie the other
There
day.
you go. See?
They knew it was fine.
There's a feature in I keep forgetting the name of this fucking magazine, Take a Break, called Ask Dr. Helen. I'm just going to read the beginning of some of these questions, because there's my favourite one is probably, why is my nipple inverted? Also, it feels softer than the other one.
Hold on, they talk about inverted in the z-axis, or is it just upside down? How do they tell?
I think it just means pointing an innie.
I'm an innie.
I mean an innie.
Okay, that's fine.
Because whichever way you turn a nipple, it's still basically the same.
Only if it's symmetrical, Tom.
True.
This is getting a bit intense.
Okay, so I'm to the real life section of the also issue 5 of That's Life magazine, February 2015. Subheadline. I mean, there's so many. Like subheadline. Real life party girl shock. Subheadline. Hayley was suffering back pain when the doctor dropped the mother of all bombshells.
I can see.
You know what's coming. Headline. I'm having a what? What there, capitalised.
Yeah, what?
And yeah, she just seems to be very surprised that she's having a baby. But I mean,
Is that one of the ones that hang out by the back, and you can't?
what of like newsagents? She looks like it.
I've never understood how this can happen. How can you be
It
unaware?
can happen, and it's terrifying.
What do you mean? Like
It
how
happened
big?
to like a
can
woman
it-
in the village next door to her. Well, that's what she
In
said.
the village.
In the village.
What village?
Well, in Kelvedon, where I used to come from, there
right,
was
okay.
somebody from the village next door that said their mum had just had birth
Just
at very
popped
short
them out.
notice.
Right.
I think you have to be fairly husky for that to happen. To start
No,
off with.
because there was this bird like a few
That arm.
months ago who had the exact same thing, but she was like super skinny, and then all of a sudden she was like, oh, I got a bit of a tummy ache. Oh, there's a baby.
But how big was the baby? It must have been tiny, surely.
I mean, she was pretty light svelte herself, so she had like a...
So she had a skinny baby.
Oh, I've just come to my favourite part of this magazine. And
just what?
I've arrived to the favourite part of my magazine. It is greyhounds dressed up. One of them is a priest.
Hold on, Tom, I think you need to acknowledge
Our lives barking mad. It's got a question mark. Barking mad. I'm a doggy supermodel. What do you do?
As if the dog is written.
It's written from the dog's point of view. Sorry, no, the dog wrote it. Sorry, I'm undermining
Get it right.
What do you get if you cross Harry Potter, Andy Murray and a Whippet? Some hellish combination. So he's dressed up as Harry Potter's dressing gown, I think. As in sort of tennis whites, just in another dressing gown.
They haven't even tried to make him look... It's just... The dog is pictured in a plaid shirt of some kind with some semi-rounded glasses, and that's Harry Potter.
It's all pretty bad. I'm only looking at it because I quite like greyhounds. I think
it's the greatest thing. What is that? A parody?
I've just seen the pod quote.
Yeah, one of the big quote in the middle is, Rupert is especially big in Iceland.
I love that. No way of proving that.
Well, knowing the way that they source their meat there, it probably comes in the freezer section.
Just a little whiff of controversy for the podcast.
Is that not... Hang on. There's a parody on that like sexy Diet Coke advert.
Right.
Spotted that. I just thought, he's wearing
the
a
Whippet
tabard.
standing. It's a Whippet or greyhound standing on a building site with a can of Diet Coke that's clearly been like blue tacked to sit still on the pipe, just wearing a high vis jacket.
It's incredible. I think that I need that as a background.
Wearing aviator glasses with two female greyhounds next to it with pink scarves, as if he's a 1960s pilot.
I think that's from the popular film
Catch Me If
You Can, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well
Can you not see these references?
No, these references are way over my head.
There's a couple more puns I haven't even missed there. So there's one where he's dressed in a choir boy outfit and it says Aled Bones.
I honestly read that as bonus, but...
And dressed as a doctor and it says, are you feeling rough? But rough is spelled R-U-F-F.
How do they do that?
I know the effort that's gone into this.
Bloody brilliant.
Literally seconds of effort.
I love how this is printed press still.
Yeah.
I mean,
they haven't even gone digital with it.
I mean, I know, which makes me sad because I go on Take a Break website expecting gold.
Yeah.
Do these things even have a website?
Now,
yeah, they do. They do.
Fuck.
I'm aware that some of these magazines we're referring to images that obviously the podcast audience can't see.
That's true. That's probably the worst.
So I'm going to try and focus on a text-based set now, just because obviously some of the demographic for Take a Break, That's Life et al. Perhaps more, amenable to believing in the spirit world, let's say.
Oh, yeah.
So, lo and behold, in the back of this week's That's Life, February 15, issue 5, Debbie Destiny. She contacts your loved ones in the spirit world to solve your problems.
That's awful.
What a cunt.
Is that what it actually says, to solve your
It doesn't
problems?
say what a cunt, no.
So now you're just outright lying.
I know, it's outrageous.
Yeah, our listeners come to us for the truth, Will.
I know. Okay. So, let's see what Debbie Destiny has to say. Headline.
I just read
enjoying.
something else.
Okay. Well, we'll save that. What are they hiding? This is a letter from Adele, 19. I'm not sure if it's a letter or the name of the album. I'm worried I've upset my adoptive mum by meeting my birth parents. She seems down and I think she's hiding something from me. Neither she nor my adoptive dad will tell me anything about what's happened in the past. Dad's also been spending time with the single lady next door. What? I'm jealous because he pays lots of attention to her son, taking him to football and concerts. Why won't they tell me what's going on, Debbie? I feel so lost. Well, I can tell you now. He's boffing the woman next door.
Clearly.
That's why he's taking the son to football and concerts.
Or maybe the son's more interesting than whoever's written in.
Than Adele.
He's trying, yeah.
He doesn't. Yeah.
It's
anyway,
not fair to
hang on.
I'm sorry.
Let's hear what Debbie's got to say about this.
I want to see how contacting the dead helps in this situation.
Wow, you're about to find out. Debbie tells Adele, I feel the presence of a lovely couple in spirit. Your biological maternal grandparents. You didn't see that shit coming, did you? Wait. They passed 17 years ago in a car crash when you were just 2.
What?
She knows. And here's what they do. They show me a photo of you as a beautiful little girl in a pink bonnet. Well, that's not hard, is it? I mean, pink. Your grandmother tells me you lived with them, as your mum was only 15 when you were born. She's done the maths there.
Yeah.
She's having a laugh. Their tragic deaths caused your mum to have a breakdown, and you were given up for adoption. Why not? But she still loves you, even if she seemed cold when you met. Don't blame her, as she suffered mental illness.
What?
She is throwing accusations to the left, right and centre.
That is probably there is no words for how sick and twisted Debbie is.
Hold on. Your grandmother also explains that your birth father tried to take you to live with him, but he was even younger and his parents wouldn't accept you were his child. Now I have another grandmother with me in a beautiful silk scarf. She's drifting all over the place. Your adoptive mum's mother. She says after you were taken in, your adoptive father became close to a woman at work. She gave birth to a son, and they are your neighbours. What?
What is going on?
This is the reason he does lots with the boy next door. He's his son.
I have to hope that Adele doesn't exist, because otherwise
that
responses to that will be so unethical.
This is incredible.
It's to be mind-blowing.
Then second, here's another bombshell. Your mum knows everything.
Oh my god.
This is the wall of silence you're up against, but the truth will come out soon. Please listen to everyone's story and not judge anyone. Your spirit guide will make sure all the new transitions will take place with little hassle or stress.
I don't know how...
Hold on. Do you want to hear Adele's comeback? She writes back.
What?
Inexplicably. Adele says, "Wow, thanks, Debbie. That's certainly a lot to take in." No fucking shit. My grandparents did die in a car accident. And what if the boy next door is my brother? Mum changed when they... What? Mum changed when they... Oh, Mum changed when they moved in. We're having a meal for his birthday soon. Perhaps they'll tell me then. Maniac.
I don't think that is... Like, none of that entire page is bollocks.
Right.
That was
I
made
will
up.
say right now that there is an email address here that we need to write to.
Holy fuck.
It is psychic@thatslife.co.uk. Always include a phone number. Debbie can only answer your letters on this page. So, I don't know what that means. Does that mean we've got to write in first and then she...
I don't know. If I have to include the phone number, but she can only write letters on that page, what about the other pages?
I'm not familiar with the machinations of the spirit world. So, I'm not sure.
I mean... If it's real, holy shit. If it's fake, that's... No, I mean...
Oh, what, you mean the email?
Yeah, if the email's real, like, that is some cruel shit. And I just... No, that's all made up.
Okay, well, we're going to be writing an email to Debbie Destiny. There's one more part of Debbie Destiny, which is interesting. Mystery message. Could it be for you? So this is just something Debbie's just plucked from the spirit world at random. Calling Anita from Poole, Dorset, who has 2 new knees and diabetes. I don't know why I had to rhyme, but it did.
Holy fuck.
She says to Anita, your dad in spirit is here. He appreciates how much you've been helping your mum, but is cross with your brother. He's not pulling his weight. He says to him, clean your penknife, as this is a message he knows will come from Dad. Is Debbie Destiny's mystery message for you? If so, let us know. There's a picture of a penknife with a caption, your brother will understand.
Oh my god, that's so ominous. That's like that magazine equivalent to a horse's head.
Look, I know you and your mum are trying to hide a body. Your brother's not helping out, and he hasn't even cleaned the weapon that was used for the killing. So, sort it out, please, Anita from Poole, Dorset.
That is probably the most messed up page ever.
Quite close to the end of, again, I forgot the name, Take a Break. I found, again, they're very up for their multiple headlines. So, title, Our Lives, Cringe, Red-Faced on the Roly-Poly Coaster. And it's a story of a lady... Yeah, Roly-Poly Coaster.
So is that one that's designed for fat people?
No, this is the whole point of it. It's that she tried to go on one and they couldn't get the bar down, the safety bar on the roller coaster.
Well, that's what it's for. It's to judge whether you're too fat to ride it.
But this is what motivated her to eventually lose some weight.
Well, good for
and
her.
by the looks of the photos, become a completely different person.
Literally a different person.
Yeah.
That's not the same person.
No. I mean, No. Maybe?
Well, she did dye her hair.
Yeah, that's the same person?
There's a lot more to do, isn't there?
I think that's the same person.
I mean, it could be.
I mean, when you lose weight off your face, you can look completely different.
Yeah, she does. Anyway, well done to her, and well done to the roller coaster, which is obviously a good slimming aid.
I mean, it was still. I think a lot of these stories they pick and go, that's not an interesting story, but I've got a brilliant pun for it. Let's write it anyway because I want to write the pun.
I've got a great pun.
Okay,
it starts from the cover, and it's like again, I'm going to be describing a picture, but imagine, if you will, a tiny puppy that's been dyed and cut to look like a tiger.
Go on.
And there's an arrow pointing to it, just so you know that the title is talking about.
Is it an Eye of the Tiger pun?
It's Die of the Tiger.
Yes.
But you nailed it. But like the capitalisation is also classic of these. It's like Die of the Tiger.
Oh, nice.
And then when you go to the story, I mean, like straight in, she's great.
Oh.
And
not
then
enough, not enough Frosty's puns anymore.
Did they just repeat?
It looks shit as well. It looks so bad.
I'm really sad
that
for
poor
it.
fucking dog.
I mean,
really
Jackie's pampered pooch had certainly earned her stripes. ... That's a pun.
Just turn to the back page. There's a woman dressed as Hulk Hogan.
What?
I don't know why. There's the letters. Who's writing to fucking hell to take That's Life issue 5 February 2015?
Actually, I know some people who got featured in
When
one
you
of
say
these. I think
feature,
it was,
do you mean took an ad out at the back?
no, it was like a double page thing, but it was pretty cool. And I was like, you did it.
I've got to the prizes page, chief of which is an Apple iPod Touch, and now that's what I call power ballads. It's good stuff.
I like how that's on CD.
And the fifth prize is 4 times cartons of basically juice and some glasses.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this is like the prizes from a 1980s game
if
show.
you'd won all of it, yeah.
That does sound like
terrible.
The Price is Right.
You've still got your bendy
Oh
boys.
god, they're here. I mean, they give you fashion advice, which is fine if I cared and it actually looked good. But there's a different. I mean, gingham is certainly in style. At least I think so. I've seen
that's
it
what gingham is. I know it's one of those things I've word.
It's plaid, if you will.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Or
for clearing that
maybe
one
gingham is like slightly smaller squares. I don't know.
up. Okay.
Either way,
Tell us
plaid,
more.
gingham, wherever you're from, it's in style. Check it out is the pun.
Because they're checked.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those
genius.
witty bastards.
Well done. How did they do that?
Fabulous.
I've actually gone all the way through Take a Break, and I'm having to go back through it again to see if there's any gold that I've missed on the first way through. I'm going to say no.
Oh, I've struck gold. Why isn't this on the front cover? That's not fair.
What you got?
Well, they probably want
House
added
of
value.
Hunting Horrors.
House hunting horrors.
Yeah.
Okay. What is it?
I mean,
It's just shit houses.
it's just like there's a horse.
What
in one
the
of-
fuck?
There's actually a horse in the house.
There is a horse in a house.
Oh,
Well, you've just been house
nice
hunting. Have you come across anything as bad as
neighbours.
that?
No, I mean the worst.
No horses.
There's not
Missed out
Relatively
on
low
my
on the
classic
equine.
pun.
There's there's very little farmyard.
Equine pun.
Neighbours, but
Nice name.
Neighbours, brilliant. Yeah, I haven't seen any particular horrors hunting houses.
I've got to say the worst thing I ever saw was many years ago when I was house hunting in Brighton, and I went to go and see a flat that was in a building that I'd walked past many times. I thought, that's quite a nice building. So, they didn't show any photos of it. They just showed an exterior photo. So I
Classic.
had to
That's
go and see
always
it.
the first sign of a
But,
shithole.
I thought it was going to be alright, but it ended up being a room... I mean, to call it a studio flat is kind of insulting to studio flats. Imagine... like the shittest room in your school, whatever that was, the shittest, tiniest room in your school, but with like 2 cabinets, with like 2 gas rings, and like a grotty toilet, and there was some horrible fucking estate agent there in his shiny suit saying, oh yeah, well you can get Virgin Media in here, and I'm like, that's just like you actually think I'm going to pay you money to live here? You're out of your fucking mind.
Perks of the
God.
job.
That was horrific.
I'm having a weird time at the moment because I'm over that hump of having found and committed to a place, but I've still got the 15 or so people who think they're looking for something, and then the more enthusiastic ones who are very much kind of like, you know, they call me every day. Like there's this guy, I won't name him. Well, I just won't say where he works. His name's Ed, and he calls. Well, at some point he was calling like most days with things. We went to a few viewings, but it was one of those kind of things where now I feel like I kind of got to break up with him.
You had some bromance.
Oh my god, I had the same thing when I was looking for a flat in London, and it was like literally every day, sometimes twice a day, getting phone calls of like, what about this? I'm in the house now. It's done. See,
I've never had that letting in Brighton. I mean, I had that when I started to look to buy a place, because then suddenly they actually stand to make some money off of you. But in Brighton, if you're letting, they could not give a shit whether you exist or not. They'll fill that space either way.
Yeah, most people have been like that, but hey.
It's strange.
So we've drifted off topic slightly. I'm just looking at the click and win section of That's Life.
What is that? This has just drawn my eye.
There's a gentleman in.
Can you give us the name of the full page?
So yeah, the full
I think
page.
We need to give this its due.
It's not click and win. I've gone over to a section called "Aren't Men Daft?"
Men capitalised.
Aren't men daft?
I think preferably pronounced daft.
Aren't men daft? We pay £50 for fit fella and 20. Okay, no grammar there. Okay, we pay £50 for fit fella and 25 for all other pics. That's just their pitch, just in case you were interested. There's just semi-naked guys. One guy just with his arse, whilst seemingly having his cock on the hob because he's facing a cooker. There you can see, and boiling. I mean, there's a risk there, isn't there? That is dangerous.
Health and safety.
I don't understand.
Caption though: sizzling hot. Oh yeah.
And there's just another lad in a bra.
I just don't understand this whole section.
Well, it's assuming, and this is outrageous, that the readership are female, because it's like, send us your picture of your fella, or of a gay persuasion.
I mean, there's no Ryan Reynolds there, really.
What about this guy? He's got my support. It's a picture of a man with his top off. He's got a bra on. Hilarious.
Definitely a student.
Cup winner is the title of that. I was slightly worried when I discovered my boyfriend Joe trying on my bra. Then I noticed it actually looks good on him. Now I'm really worried. Ellie Sutton, Brentwood, Essex.
Of course. I come from close to there, so I can tell you that's no surprise.
That is accurate.
And there's John's Rude Jokes of the Week is a feature just beneath that.
Oh,
Can
John,
you enlighten us?
You are... What stands stiff and proud and brightens up our lives at night? A lamppost.
Fuck me.
I mean, John, just...
Whoa.
For every rude joke we publish,
25
quid for that.
Oh my god, we can come up with something better.
We're going to definitely write into every email address they've got.
Oh my god.
So what have you found?
So my prize in Real People, hang on, let me get if you want to win it, it's in, there's no... Oh no, it is issue 5, don't worry.
Yeah. They're always issue 5.
Your chance to win a spam-tastic breakfast experience.
Does it involve spam?
Yes, brand named. There's definitely a trademark there.
Okay.
It's officially Spam Appreciation Week from the 2nd to the 8th of March, and we want to reward Spam fans, giving them the chance to win one of 5 amazing breakfast experiences.
Do they all involve spam?
It's good to say. Surely they're not best placed to provide that service, are they?
The number one prize is just any other greasy spoon.
That is certainly an oxymoron, I'd have to say.
Holy fuck, can we have the details? What are these 5 amazing experiences?
Oh, it's in support of Children's Hospital Charity.
Now you look like a right twat.
Well, that was down the bottom and you can barely see it.
This is like that time when I started a podcast with a rape story.
I've just noticed a headline off of the front page that I didn't before. So, to give it the summation, fiancé seduced my friend as I gave birth. But the pun to go with that is, he pulled as I pushed. It's actually pretty good for these guys. I'm beginning to understand what is good and what isn't good from amongst this morass of shite.
Yeah. See, the thing is, a lot of it is tragedy based.
The real tragedy is the journalists that actually have to do this job, because they probably
I don't think they do.
Snap.
Don't some of them have to? They just send. It's like written by the people who send it in, right?
Yeah, you'll notice that a lot of the articles end with Leah Brentwood. Sorry, Brentwood, we love you.
No, but this must have involved actual journalists who set out to do something other than this, presumably with their journalistic career, and it's not really worked out for them.
This is a worry. So there's actually a health section, which I hadn't realised, in That's Life magazine, issue 5, February 2015.
Well, health is part of life, Will, so...
It is. That's Life, health is part of it. How can I stop feeling so angry? There's a woman from, stock photos looking a bit annoyed.
I was going to say.
Just like Claudia Winkleman.
Yeah, except not quite as dead inside. Top tips to help you stay calm and tame your temper. I mean, That's Life says we all feel angry from time to time. It's a natural reaction. When it becomes hard to control, it's harmful to health and relationships. So full credit to you, Bryony, for recognising the problem and wanting to solve it.
Where did Bryony come from?
Bryony is from Take a Break magazine, I don't know.
It doesn't say, it just
It's not even that, it's That's Life.
She comes from 41. No, that's her age.
Okay, right. Recently I've been angry a lot. My kids talking back or bickering sets me off, so I shout at them to shut them up, which doesn't help, and then I feel awful for losing my temper. If something makes me late, or if I'm rude to a customer at work, I just flip inside and a coil of rage is unleashed. I hate being like this. Yes. Now, this solution to that, obviously, is work out what's setting you off. Anger often masks other feelings. Yeah, it's your fucking
She's
kids.
identified it quite clearly.
Yeah.
Several examples.
Tick.
Question yourself. Having a thought doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Brilliant.
What?
Be aware of patterns you fall into. Do you blow things out of proportion? Or take everything... There's a new line, I got tripped up. Or take everything personally. Put your reactions into perspective. Think before you speak. Take a few moments to collect your thoughts. Could you be getting it wrong? Jumping to conclusions or writing in to take a break? Count to 10. It doesn't say that. Yeah, fucking That's Life. I mean, 250 quid. I mean, this is definitely more worthwhile than writing into
I don't understand.
Debbie Destiny.
Or sending a picture of your boyfriend in a bra.
Yeah.
That's only 25
That's only
quid.
25. They are paying 250 if you've battled
illness.
illness.
That's a factor of 10 to be better than that. We can make up an illness and seriously get some cash on hand.
I was too fat to get in the co-op.
Should we see if we can make this podcast pay for itself?
Yeah. It's at least try and break even.
Make a profit.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like I'm exhausting it, and it's quite early on.
I expected there to be some funnier adverts in this, but most of them are pretty bad. There's one for like an older people's dating service, from what I can tell.
Oh, interesting.
Well,
that's run by Take a Break. It's called Take a Break's Perfect Match. Register for free today.
that's not just old people, is it?
No,
There's
but
some
it's-
young'uns in there.
There's mostly old people in the larger photos, which is nice to see. It's
Yeah,
nice to see.
refreshing.
Less ageist.
I'm quite pleased with the use of Peter Andre in the Spot the Difference competition.
But all of the people on this
good to see him again.
are like well dressed and middle class, which is clearly not the
He
people
looks
who are
like
going
he's
to be on
at
this.
Disneyland.
He is. That's why he's with Mickey Mouse and
So
Minnie
they
Mouse.
just googled that picture and like pulled it and was like, yeah, we'll print that.
It's a Spot the Difference. Can we spot any of the differences?
I don't
gonna make-
it's
that's
not
gonna
great
make
radio, is it?
I do have
You were listening to three people trying to spot the differences on a picture of Peter Andre. It's a totally different photo because he's looking in a different direction
yeah,
for a
no,
start.
that's the first spotting right there.
Yeah.
I've got Bob's Big Treasure Hunt. Not what you think.
Okay. I don't think anything.
Is it more literal than that?
No, it's like giving me bargains for like some flowered. Oh look, there's a plate with horses on it.
The sort that you
Is
would get from the back of the Radio Times.
Yeah.
It's migrated
And
now.
like a wooden stool with some patterns on it. That's for 20 quid.
Hold on. Pun alert. Minor, M-I-N-E-R, matters. It's a pair of little mining lamps.
Yep.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
These magazines are so incredibly generic, aren't they? There's virtually nothing to pick from between them. So, like, can you imagine what it is that makes a person choose one over the other than just brand loyalty?
I just picked all of them up.
Yeah, it's budget, I think, for a lot of people.
I don't
The
think
difference
so.
between 67p and 90p.
But can I just, like, I know this is, like, not good for radio, but just, I saw that, so you should see it too.
Okay, so what we're looking at here, we're looking at Love in the Nuddy.
Capitalised.
Love in the Nuddy!
Pointless capitalisation here as well. In the village.
So this is about nudists, obviously. And what I'm worried about is that it's it's a family situation, because you've got some kids here, Kimberly and Chris there, and I think they're all a bit upset at the situation. Let's just read it, see what finds out. So the headline: stripping off. When Heather found romance, it wasn't just her emotions that she bared. Love in the Nuddy. I think it's just about nudists. Oh, Dave and Les there, just keeping it a bit of balance. So, ecstatic, the bungalow we were viewing was just perfect. I love it, cried my fella Les as we nosed around. That conservatory's rotten and we'll have to come down, he frowned. And we'd need a new kitchen, but that aside, it's great. Look at the view, I cried, peering out at the garden and woodland beyond. Then I spotted a very normal-looking couple. Apart from one thing, they were naked.
They always go the same way, these stories.
You see,
also, like,
this wasn't any old...
6 months back.
Yeah. No, hold on, it's further than that. You see, this wasn't any old beauty spot. It was November 2012 and we were buying a bungalow in Spielplatz, a naturist village in Hertfordshire. Spielplatz in Hertfordshire.
It's an incredibly Hertfordshirean name.
Incredibly unlikely.
What's a Spielplatz?
Well, it sounds German, doesn't
Exactly.
it? Spielplatz.
Oh, it's twinned with Staines in Stuttgart. I mean, what's going on?
Spielplatz is going to be like Play Square or Play Place.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so, to continue. I'd stripped off on a nudist beach near Great Yarmouth, Norfolk, with my boyfriend for a laugh when I was 18. Giggling, we'd peeled our clothes off lying on towels. Isn't it strange, all these middle-aged people wandering around naked, I mused back then. But they do look very happy. After that, I'm busy building a career as a manager at the BBC and raising my kids. Christopher, now 24, and Kimberly, 21, naturism didn't cross my mind again, until one day over lunch with some colleagues, Les Coles, a fire safety officer. Why is that mentioned?
Good old Les.
Les Coles, a fire safety officer. Hold on a minute, his name is Coles and he's a fire safety officer. Yes. Back to the bits.
That is definitely a fake name.
Middle name, his nickname must be Hot Coles.
Yeah. It's hot as in. Anyway, Les Coles, a fire safety officer, casually mentioned what he'd done that weekend. I went to a naturist resort for a swim, he shrugged. After a collective gasp, we all fired questions at Les, who answered openly without embarrassment. Afterwards, I forgot all about it until 2001, when
What?
Les...
Wait, you went back in time?
I don't know what's happening. Oh no, when he was 18, he was working with Coley,
Okay.
who, lest we forget, is a fire safety officer.
Yeah.
And then it's 2001.
That was in 2001, but before they bought a house in 2012.
This is a fucking saga.
It's like Lost. You're jumping around. There's flashbacks, I bet the same amount gets resolved at the end of the fucking thing as well. So, where are we? So Coley, he's a fire safety officer. Hotters. After a collective gasp, we all fired questions at Les, who answered openly without embarrassment. Afterwards, I forgot all about it until 2001, when Les, or Coley as he was also known, and me got together.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on a minute. They continue the puns. We'd been growing closer, and on a work trip to Glasgow, sparks flew. He's coal, fire, sparks. That's the triumvirate of puns.
I love it.
Les was funny, a master of the one-liner, and made me feel loved and protected. You alright, Dolly? He'd ask, a joke, as he was terrible at remembering names, and called every woman he knew doll.
Wait, they were together, but
he didn't know her name.
Confused.
This is where the story's starting to fall apart. Anyway, I'm perfect, Coley, I'd reply. Also, we've known each other for 5 years. Doesn't say that. We'd been together for 6 months when Les broached the subject of naturism. Okay, so
Who the fuck are Kimberly and Chris then? I'm confused.
That's his now children.
Children, But I bet he still doesn't remember our name.
I'm really confused.
Let's see if we can get through it.
Power on.
Yeah, let's blow through this, mother. So, I'm perfect, Coley, I'd reply. We'd been together for 6 months when Les broached the subject of naturism. It's going to be sunny this weekend, he said. Fancy the beach? I knew what sort of beach he meant. Maybe, I stuttered. I was comfortable in my size 12 body, but then a 35-year-old mum, did I want to expose it to the world? Give it a go. If it's not for you, it's not for you, Les urged. So that Saturday, Les and me drove to St. Osyth Beach in Essex.
That's a fucking terrible place. You have no idea. That's like Mogadishu. Seriously, St. Osyth. St. Osyth is near Jaywick, which is it's several years in a row been the most deprived place in England, in the whole of the UK. Actually, it's a fucking terrible, like burnt out wrecks of cars. Okay, so when me and Will went to sixth form college years ago, and there was a photography teacher there called Andy. He once took a bunch of kids to St. Osyth to take pictures of driftwood and all that bollocks.
Was he just trying to look at the nudie beach? Now you know it's all coming together.
With children.
I think he was scoping it out before they went to actually go and do the thing. Within 10 minutes of being there, someone tried to sell him his own car.
Okay, so
Wow.
oh man, so picture the scene. Essex and Osyth Beach will carry on. We pulled up in our Nissan Micra and Les whipped his clothes off. Oh, I gulped, shocked by his speedy transformation into a naked bohemian. Let's set up camp, he said cheerfully, pulling a windbreak from the car, striding across the sand. I followed, still safely covered up. There were a few naturists about, so I fixed my eyes on Les, avoiding them as he settled his towel. Well, he said, arching an eyebrow. Okay, I nodded, my heart hammering as I undressed quickly and flopped onto my towel. Tense at first as the sun warmed my bare bottom, I relaxed. Being naked was actually quite pleasant. Then, emboldened by a glass of red wine, I followed Les into the waves. It's freezing! I laughed. After that, Les, who by now had moved in with me and the kids, introduced me to a few naturist spots.
In the course of that
we went in the sea, we moved in together whilst we were in the sea.
Les moves fast.
He's a fucking maverick, that guy. I don't understand.
He's hot and on fire.
This
How
is so
Coley.
badly written.
His favourite was Spielplatz, where he'd been a member for 3 decades.
Wait, you
So
have to be a
she's
member.
35, he was 5 at the time, maybe.
Why do you have to be a member of these beaches?
Because it's a
Is
club,
it like
isn't
a
it?
form you have to sign?
Yeah.
I'm going to be naked here.
You sign it with your dick.
Oh my god.
Metaphorically. Anyway.
Metaphorical dick.
Yeah. It was enchanting, with caravans, bungalows and wooden lodges. They got wood there, set in 12 acres of woodland, with a clubhouse and village green, and had been offering naturists the chance to relax since 1929. I wonder what that was like at wartime. I wonder what the vibe was like.
In amongst all the shelling.
Yeah.
Quick, get in the bunker!
Do we still have to relax in the bunker with that about, or what are the rules?
You know the rules.
You know the rules, okay.
That's
There's
part
gas
of the
masks
sign-up
and knobs
process.
out.
I'm trying to protect myself.
Little gas mask with a knob. I want one now.
You don't accidentally inhale fire.
It's connected to the lungs, right?
The mustard gas would really spring your urethra.
Yeah.
Oh, phantom pains.
To bring Metal Gear Solid into it.
No, not like that.
Okay, so, since 1929, the only rules were no cameras and no dogs. How did she get in, anyway? So nobody was nipped around the nether regions, and no naked bottoms on seats. Presumably no white sofas either. Women always carried a sarong and men a towel. This is paradise, I told Les, lazing in the swimming pool. That evening, Les introduced me to his friends in the clubhouse. Trouble's brewing. I didn't stare at anyone's bits. Naturist etiquette. That's basic. As I met his best mate, Dave. Will you come back? Dave asked. Definitely, I nodded. Soon, we were spending every summer weekend at Spielplatz. Where the fuck are their kids at this point?
I don't know.
Really
I
hope
think-
they're not there.
In child protective custody.
Oh my god!
Filing for parent divorce. Excuse me. So, soon we were spending every weekend there, sunbathing by day and dancing in the clubhouse in the evenings. Now, when you dance when you're naked, I'm just saying,
Everything's going to be jiggling.
there's a lot of, like, presumably there's like a perimeter
Oh, God.
that you have to impose.
Middle-aged white people.
Helicoptering.
Just dancing at the best of times, but plus nakedness, holy fuck.
Yeah, I think that actually balances it back out. I'm not an expert. So, I've never met such friendly people, I told Les, at our house in Bedfordshire. We never chatted to our neighbours. Just throw
Steam
that in.
knobs out, you'll get the house on fire.
Ding dong. We live next door, yeah, I know. Have you seen this? Oh, brilliant.
Now I can talk to you properly.
Oh, finally, I
You've
feel
really
so
broken
relaxed
the ice.
now that you've broken the ice with your knob, metaphorically.
Go on, Will, take us to the end.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
Take us
we're
home.
only just
We've
over
come so
halfway
far.
through. Yeah, just like they do. Of course, my children, teenagers then, here we go, weren't impressed, so I rebelled even further by having my belly button pierced. Hold on. She's rebelling at the children not liking them getting their cocks out.
Isn't that the opposite of what should happen?
Yeah, it
Okay.
is. So let's find out what happened next. Now I was a naturist, I might as well accessorise. Then, in 2008... Hold on.
Don't get a pierced
Oh,
knob.
I think we're about to pull the tragedy lever. Here we go. Then, in 2008, Les had a routine scan as he was suffering with kidney stones. It revealed an enlarged spleen, and he was sent for tests to Stoke Mandeville Hospital. You have myelofibrosis, said his consultant. You'll have to write that down for me, Les joked, but it was no joke. Well, don't laugh, it's no joke. Myelofibrosis was a blood disorder causing scarring of the bone marrow. Poor Les was permanently exhausted and unable to walk for more than a few paces, so I gave up work to care for him. Well, that's getting dark, isn't it?
What? I thought this was about, like, nudes on the
Wait,
beach.
they'll probably bring it back.
It's called Life in the Nuddy, not Death
Also,
in the Nuddy.
I'm not being funny, Aurora, but this is real people, yeah? And it's real talk.
Yeah, I know, but it looks so fun and bubbly.
Well, wait, they might turn it around. He might get better. Then, where are we? Poor Les was permanently exhausted and unable to walk, so I gave up work to care for him. Then in autumn 2012, Dave's girlfriend Sharon rang. Who is Dave?
That's
Isn't
one of their friends.
2012 the year that they bought a house?
That's his best mate, Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of Cock Out and
But they bought the
Spielplatz.
house in
Yeah.
2012, didn't they? I'm confused.
They bought the house
Something.
in
It's
right at the beginning.
Yeah, they were buying a bungalow in Spielplatz.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Detective
Back and
work.
Then in autumn 2012, Dave's girlfriend Sharon rang. A bungalow in Spielplatz is
Oh,
up for
there we
sale,
go.
she
Comes full
cried.
circle.
Yeah.
It would be perfect for you and Les. Wow, I gasped. Bungalows at Spielplatz hardly ever came on the market, so we put an offer in which was accepted. Then Les's hospital consultant called. He'd been waiting for a bone marrow transplant for months, and finally a match had been found. After the op, you can recuperate in the bungalow, I told him.
With
And
your
I'll
cock out.
build you a new conservatory too, he promised. Les was admitted to Oxford's Churchill Hospital for the operation in March 2013. He underwent intensive chemo for a week, and to give his body the best chance of accepting the new bone marrow. How do you feel? I asked when I visited. Fine, Dolly, still doesn't know her name. He replied.
It's been years.
Have the wallpaper samples arrived for the bungalow? Les's bone marrow transplant on 28th of March 2013 was a success. Or so we thought,
Oh,
until
fuck's
his
sake.
elbows and ankles swelled up. Don't
I
laugh.
thought
Do
you
not
were
laugh.
joking.
No, that's what it says. Placed in intensive care, his heart was weak and he couldn't cope with fluid in his body. Jesus, he slipped into a coma in the early hours of 2nd of May 2013. I was by his side as he passed away.
What?
Jesus Christ. I
took
love
a
you,
dark
I
turn.
sobbed, engulfed by emptiness. You're staying with Sharon and me at Spielplatz until the bungalow's renovated, Dave said, taking my hand and leading me out of Les's room. I couldn't have coped without them. The grief was terrible and loneliness gnawed. I made a floral tribute for Les's funeral. Coley, spelled out in flowers. Mr. Trick could have used coal. We held... Sorry, that's a terrible thing. We held the wake in Spielplatz Clubhouse, where the flag flew at half-mast. Now, is that a pun? This is tragic, and I'm sorry the guy died, but this is no time
Took him a 21 knob salute.
I'm sorry. But don't have the funeral there. I mean...
Is she really going to want to live in a bungalow surrounded by a lot of other naked couples after that?
Yeah, she enjoys
Surely
it.
after
What's
she's
the problem?
not got Coley there anymore, Hotters, is she really going to enjoy the nakedness
I really
as such
didn't
as she
expect
did?
this story would take this turn, to
Now,
be honest.
the beauty of this is, and I've skipped ahead emotionally and with my eyes, it does turn itself around, so let's just carry on a little bit. So... Dave was straight in there helping renovations in the bungalow, knocking down the old conservatory. Not me. Les promised, didn't he? He grinned. Every evening there was a ring on my doorbell. Again, is that... They didn't use her knockers, did they? Oh,
there must be something in there about smashing the back doors in.
That's definitely a pun on cock rings there.
None of this is mentioned. Hold on. Coming to the clubhouse tonight, Dave would ask. I don't feel up to it, I'd stutter. Then instead of asking, he'd tell me, you're coming to the clubhouse tonight. Wow. Over the coming months, my grief became less raw thanks to my friends at Spielplatz. Then, in the clubhouse one evening in August 2013, a stranger with a towel wrapped around his waist asked if I'd like a drink. Okay, I gulped. Introducing himself as Neil Warren, 57. I love how they get really specific.
It's not like, hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Neil Warren, 57. That's a weird surname, Neil Warren.
There's 56 before him.
Yeah. 57th of my name. He handed me a glass of red wine and we chatted. I service dishwashers, he told me. Of course you do, Neil. Sorry, it should be hyphenated, Neil Warren.
57.
No, 57's the surname, you don't.
He's the 57th servicing dishwasher.
Yeah. I service dishwashers, to tell me. I came to Spielplatz 3 years ago to install the dishwasher and I was fascinated, so I joined up. With Neil, I found myself relaxing, even laughing. I like your pink sarong, he said.
Oh my god.
The colour suits you. My cheeks flushed pink too. Now, I mean, we know what we think of that. Let's move on. Who was he? My friends asked afterwards. Be careful, Heather. You're still vulnerable. True, but I didn't get the impression Neil wanted to take advantage of me. He was just being friendly. So when I spotted him in the sauna the following evening, I offered to buy him a drink. Again,
it's a terrible place to take drinks.
Yeah.
Just evaporate, won't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I hadn't thought about that at all. Carry on.
Yeah. You're right, this is all bollocks stuff. So when I spotted him in the sauna, I offered to buy a drink. Again, we chatted and I felt the crackle of electricity between us.
Oh.
That's probably his faulty wiring on the fucking dishwasher. Even surreptitiously glancing at... Next column, his naked body. Okay, there you go. Not half bad in italics, there you go. Will you be here next Saturday? He asked at the end of the night. I live here, I smiled, so yes. But the next day, guilt pinched. Les had only been gone a couple of months, and here I was flirting with another man. I then looked around the home Les and me had designed together, and I knew Les would want me to be happy. So instead of pushing Neil away, I counted my lucky stars that I'd met him. I told him all about Les, showing him photographs of us at Spielplatz.
It's probably not what
Do you think he enjoyed that?
I thought they weren't allowed to take photos. That is, I mean...
There are a lot of inconsistencies here.
Spielplatz Clubhouse
yeah,
isn't
and they're going to want to know.
What are the rules?
Yeah.
Let's call them in a minute on speaker.
But like on your first date, you don't really want to be showing them your dead ex-husband's knob. That's probably not what you want to lead with, is it?
I met a woman. Really? What did you get up to? Just chatted and that.
Clothed photos, really.
Yeah. What did she show you? Yeah, a lot of photos. All clothed. Why did you say clothed? No reason. They were just normal photos. Oh, okay. Okay. Here we go. Showing photographs of us at Spielplatz. Then a month after meeting, we were at a barbecue when Neil told me, "Have a look at my sausage." He didn't say that.
What?
He said,
For fuck's sake.
I made that bit up. He said, "I'm falling in love with you, Heather." "I'm falling in love with you too," I replied. Afterwards, we slept together. It's just that. It was comfortable. That's not the best review, is it?
Did she actually say that? It was comfortable.
There it is, in black and white. It was comfortable. We'd already seen each other naked, so we weren't self-conscious. And on 25th of October 2013, Neil moved into the bungalow with me. Now we're very happy together and living our life at Spielplatz. I'm now working in the canteen as a cook, clothed of course, and we're at the centre of the community. Recently, the village has even been featured in a TV documentary, so people can learn more about this amazing place. On New Year's Day, we did a sponsored swim to raise money for renovations on the clubhouse. I know Les would be happy for me. Naturism was a gift he wanted me to share.
Oh.
There is Heather and...
Neil Warren 57.
Neil Warren 57. Near St Albans in
I'm glad
Hertfordshire.
that turned out happy, because that went dark for a minute and I didn't expect it. And I was like, oh man, that was a downer.
I feel like we needed that.
Yeah, just
all the way through.
Yeah. Wow.
You've taken us on a journey, Will.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, that was...
That seems like a natural time to bring proceedings to a close. Yeah. Have we decided on a name for this podcast at this stage? My suggestion was Shit Mag Review, but then others suggested
I'm not sure that's going to fly with the people at Apple in the podcast department.
And also,
Fuck
you
those
mentioned
guys.
earlier, before we started recording, that it doesn't give us a lot of room to diversify, should we choose to.
So yeah, we might choose to pick different topics, critique different literature.
We probably should, because this is going to be like one episode's worth, and then it might get a little bit stale.
Yeah. So yeah, look out for the name of the podcast on the webpage that you're listening to it on, above the thing that's playing it to you, and we'll see you next week or next time on that named podcast.
Maybe that should just be the name.
That named podcast.
That named podcast.
It's better than anything we got so far.
Good for SEO.
Okay, well,
we'll find out what it is.
Thanks for that. We have been.
I've been Will.